What is up? It is Green Bay Packers episode of the overview video that we are going to look at the roster, look at the changes, what happened, what's going on. It was a giant move and an anticipated move, but we're going to get into that because, well, in this last recent year, it was a bit of a change because they went 13 games for the last 3 seasons with Matt LaFleur. Now, for the first time, and now, I think 2018 is a losing record of 8-9. The Packers had a chance to go to the playoffs. Unfortunately, they lost last game to their rivals in the same division, the Detroit Lions. So it kind of changed the way everything changed last year. Just the line, the receivers, the attitude. Just Rodgers looked like he wanted out anyways. It was just weird. So, I mean, eventually, we are now to that point where there was a trade between them and the Jets, and we all knew it. It was going to happen. We just didn't know when. And, well, we waited, 2 months, 3 months before they pulled the trigger. So the New York Jets are now getting the Hall of Famer, future Hall of Famer, more than likely. It's Aaron Rodgers. And 3-round draft picks, which was the 13th overall, the first round, along with the second of 42 and the 6th round of the 206. So they all acquired picks from the Jets next year, which could become a first if Rodgers plays more than 65% of the snaps. In the deal, Green Bay sent New York their first and their 5th rounder. So who's at the helm? Jordan Love, who they selected in the 2020 draft, and he's kind of been learning under Rodgers. It was a little shaky at first, but it seems like on his way out, Rodgers said, I think he's ready. But we all know Rodgers. Rodgers loves drama. He loves the media. So I don't know how much truth behind that is, but we did get a glimpse of it. What was it, last year?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that one game.
Which he looked... It was just fourth quarter, I believe, or the second half?
Yeah, it was I think it was just the fourth quarter, but I mean, he had the nice touchdown pass to Watson.
Mm-hmm. So, it was definitely...
But I mean, Love wasn't helping the situation either when he came out and said, well, if Rodgers comes back, you have to trade me.
Yeah, no. It
so
was
they
just
were stuck between a rock and, we got to trade one of you, I guess.
Right. And you had to choose one.
And
you didn't want to pay this guy all this money.
Yeah, and you're going to choose the younger one.
Yeah, I'll choose the younger one who's still in the rookie contract. And Love did kind of show a little bit of good heat behind that ball, and it looked nice. I'm not gonna lie. And that little small, I'm like, that could be trouble for the rest of the league or the rest of that division, the NFC North. So the Packers already had lost. Rodgers' favorite targets was Alan Lazard and Robert Tonyan before they even made the trade. So it was kind of like, all right, dude, everything's leaning Jordan Love. I think it's time. Let's just ship him out. And that's exactly how it ended. And Robert Tonyan went to the Bears. So it's been a wild ride. And for once, I think maybe without Rodgers, I think they finally realized, okay, we need to figure this out. So, yeah. So we got a question. We're talking about the MLOs. So before the show, we were talking a little bit about, this might be more for you, Mark, but do you think MLS League is top 9 of the best football leagues in the world? Or where would you rank MLS leagues?
Well, I mean, obviously the Premier League, La Liga, Bundesliga.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, though, because even... I would say probably in the top 9, probably towards the bottom, if I had to say. I mean, I guess I am wearing the Germany shirt.
That's probably why. When you ask, I'm like, oh, dude, I don't
know. I was reading that question, and then I was like, what is happening here? And then I was like, oh, well, I guess I am wearing the Germany shirt. It would be right around probably 9 if they were in the top. I could see it. It's just because they do get some big names. Granted, usually when the big names come in, it's towards the end of their career. But
there's one thing about that football league and the American Football League. Like when I talk about American football, I don't normally say American football. I say the NFL. And then we're like, oh yeah, because everyone outside of the States hate the fact that it's named that because everything else is football. So it's like, well, it is what it is. Like I didn't come up with a name, and then they are like, oh yeah, it sucks. I'm like, well, dude, it's I don't know. I can't tell you that whatever, ages ago they decided that the Canadians made this game, and then we just adapted it. So it's like, all right, well, it is what it is. They should have changed the name, but it is what it is. So that's why I call it NFL. So with Brian had you sweating, yeah, for sure. Had you sweating because you had Aaron Rodgers as your main QB there in your dynasty league. So yeah, I'm pretty sure when you heard the final trade go through, I bet you felt real relaxed that you actually had a QB. Because who's your other quarterbacks? Stafford and Tannehill, right? So you think he cuts one of them? I think he cuts.
Well, I mean Tannehill probably.
I think he's gonna cut one of them. MLS is top 2 NFL, then MLS, then MLB.
Well, maybe here.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna argue that. I mean, look, MLS is probably known worldwide, where NFL is just here. So, yep, Stafford is Tannehill is a receiver. What? Yep, Stafford. Get the hell out of here.
He's moving Tannehill to receiver. This guy.
Well, I think it was because of that one. Didn't he have like that one stupid catch, like years ago? Or am I thinking of someone else? I don't know. All right. All right. Go over the draft picks, Mark. Who do they bring in? Yes, it's overlarged, and yes, we're hiding behind this because I couldn't fit this without hiding our faces. I'm like, you know what? Let's just block it all.
Well, they had to go and have like 11 draft picks. So.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. They drafted the entire league. So go ahead.
They swapped first round picks this year with the Jets in the Aaron Rodgers trade. And with the 13th overall pick from the Jets, they got Lucas Van Ness, defensive end out of Iowa. And then in round 2 from Cleveland through New York. Oh, so this must have been also in the trade.
It was also part of
Jets
the trade
got from Cleveland.
Well, that's what, yeah.
And so they got Luke Musgrave, tight end out of Oregon State, which we were excited about, but then was quickly dampened, but we'll get to why in a second. And they had Jaden Reed, wide receiver out of Michigan State, which they got from Tampa Bay. And then they decided in the 3rd round to go Tucker Kraft, tight end out of South Dakota State. So I guess they weren't 100% sure with the tight end situation.
Yeah, that one was weird to me. I didn't understand that one either. Like you went with
so much other stuff you need on your roster. Like, why are you getting a second tight end?
Yeah,
the first 3 rounds.
I don't know either. Look, it's the Packers, dude. They do some weird stuff, man.
Right. And then with 116, they got Colby Wooden, defensive tackle out of Auburn. 149 was Sean Clifford, QB out of Penn State. That's interesting. And then 159 was Dontavion
Wicks, yep.
Wide receiver out of the University of Virginia. And then with 179, they got Carl Brooks, defensive lineman out of Bowling Green. 207 was Andrews Carlson, a kicker out of Auburn. Like I said, we won't get into that. Anderson, a kicker out of Auburn. And then we had Carrington Valentine, cornerback out of Kentucky. And then Lou Nichols, the 3rd, running back out of Central Michigan. Anthony Johnson Jr., safety out of Iowa State. And then Grant Dubose, wide receiver, Charlotte.
Yeah. The entire draft.
Yeah. Good Lord, that's a lot.
It was a lot. It was a lot. And you know what's crazy? Only like maybe about 3 of those guys are going to start day 1. I would imagine Luke Musgrave, maybe Tucker Kraft. They'll battle it out.
I feel like Lucas Van Ness.
And Jaden Reed.
Not Lucas Van Ness?
Oh, well, no, because he's behind. All right. That pick was weird, and I'll get to that when we start talking about defense, because they have. They might put him at the other side. That Kenny Clark is there. It's just I don't know. We'll get to defense, and I'll see maybe why he doesn't start because of the way he played in college. I mean, look, Lucas Van Ness wasn't necessarily a starter. He wasn't a starter, but he was a really good player and he was productive. When he was in, he made plays. So, which I don't know why Iowa didn't play him more, which I feel like they probably rotated the guys, but it still feel like, was he a first rounder? Yeah, I guess so. I mean, they did at pick 13. I feel like that was too high for him. I think I would have waited. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So at pick 13, you could have had way more other guys than him. But, you know, Packers never do the right thing from what we've known in the draft. Packers always kind of draft very oddly, to be honest. Like, you think they're going to go for something, and then they go with complete opposite position of what you think they might need. So this is one of those organizations it's interesting. I'm not saying I hate them. I hate the way they draft. It's going to really show their true colors now that Rodgers is gone, because they're going to really need him. And Jordan Love is really going to have big shoes to fill. So, but I do believe that Aaron Jones is confident in him. They interviewed Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones said, yeah, he's ready. I think he's good to go. So with that being said, let's talk about the offense. Anything that you kind of like noticed differently about this offense besides, Rodgers gone or?
Well, I mean, obviously Rodgers being gone is the big one.
Yeah.
I mean, I got David Bakhtiari as the starting left tackle, so that's news.
Okay. No, well, I have that too.
He hasn't been on the field in who knows how long.
Yeah, I know. I have Bakhtiari, Jenkins, Myers, Runyon, and Zach Tom, all the starting line right there.
Yep.
Which I think that I do believe Royce Newman would probably swing in the mix somewhere around there as well. Sean Ryan might be in there as well. So these guys, they drafted a little higher on the drafting board previous years. So I feel like they're going to probably see what they have. We still have some time before the actual season starts. And right now with OTAs and then training camp starts next month. So it's like, we'll see. Yeah, we're actually already in June. So it actually should start here pretty soon, right?
Yeah, so actually should.
Yeah.
Towards the end of this month.
Right. So all here and led by Matt LaFleur and his interesting lineup. Jordan Love is at the helm with Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, which arguably last year we thought they were going to be the best duo back, and then they just kind of veered away from the run game. They did a lot of pass catching.
Yeah, there is weird.
There was even some games where Aaron Jones just wasn't productive because they didn't use it. When I say they are the weirdest organization, I mean they are the weirdest organization. The play calling, the way they roster structure, like I just can't get on board with what they're doing every time because it's always something different. So at least the Packers have a QB. And what? Have a Pukers in the Raiders. Well, okay.
What are you
let me
talking
defend
about?
Jimmy G here a little bit, okay?
Tom Brady's going to be the owner / starting quarterback for the Raiders. I don't know why you're worried about them.
Look, Jimmy G is not really my necessarily favorite QB, but for the last years that he's been there, he's been above 500, 600 really. He gets wins. I don't know how, but that's also because he also has a great defense. So I don't know. I can't see. Oh, Anthony, Jesus. All right. So as for receivers, we got Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, and Jalen Reed. who they took here in the second round, and then with Grant Dubose also with that, and Dontavion Wicks. So a very young core group of receivers here.
Oh, I know.
So
That's
I don't always like that going in because look at their tight ends, also rookies. Like essentially, Jordan Love, this is his rookie year as well. If you think about it, because he hasn't really played much. We've seen preseason games and then a few quarters here and there, but it's not like you week in, week out, you're the guy. Let's see what happens. You know what I mean? So, anything here that you want to say about the offense?
Like you said, I mean, I feel like Christian Watson's a solid number one, but they're all so young. And then with a guy who been in the league for 3 years, but like it's his first time starting, it's going to be interesting. I feel like I wouldn't be shocked if they succeeded, though, just because maybe if they get a camaraderie, they get a good feel for each other and love. You know, I was talking to Braden about this earlier. Like, you don't keep a guy in your building for 3+ years and then make him the starter without knowing confidently, like seeing what he does in practice and being like, he can translate it to the actual games. Like, I feel like Matt LaFleur knows what he's going to get from him. But we'll just have to see. Like I said, very young. I feel like future in a couple years, they could be really good. We'll just have to see. The offensive line is the one question I kind of have because, like I said, Bakhtiari, I have him listed as a starting left tackle, but I don't even think he's played a game in 2 years, if not longer.
I don't know.
With that knee injury that apparently wasn't healing right. So that's a question mark for me. So, I mean, obviously the offensive line can't block, then they're not going to be able to do anything. So,
yeah, I don't know. I agree with what you said. Aaron Jones is legitly like the veteran there.
Yeah.
Like,
and he's only 28, but old for a running back. But
it's gonna be interesting. It's a young team. Who knows? The chemistry might build and they might get good, but we don't know that yet. We don't know because we haven't really seen what Jordan Love can do. His receivers, I like his receivers, but again, I don't know. I can't have full confidence, and I have without a doubt in my mind they might be the worst team in this division, maybe. But I don't know. That's what I kind of labeled them as. But we'll get to the schedule here in a bit. So let's talk about defense. So I have a 3-4.
Yes, I believe I have the same thing.
Yep. Okay, so Kenny Clark, TJ Slayton, Devontae Watt, Preston Smith, and Devondre Campbell is still there, and then Crybaby Walker, Rashawn Gary, Jair Alexander, Darnell Savage, Rudy Ford, Russell Douglas, and Casey Nixon. So, it's a good defense, ish.
Yeah,
I think Walker's going to step up his game. And yes, if you haven't seen the video of Walker getting ejected in that last game, it's quite hilarious. He looked like a little child that his mom sent him to his room because he didn't get candy or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but it was bad.
Quay Walker needs to learn how to be more disciplined. There was a lot of penalties from him last year.
Which is weird because you would think playing next to a veteran like Devondre Campbell.
Yeah. And Devondre Campbell was one of my favorite linebackers. Like, he originated out of, Falcons. And then he went to Arizona and then Arizona to Green Bay. So he's still there and he's still productive. Yep. I like him a lot. I just think that Quay Walker, learning from him, should be a little bit better. But I think I think this year they're gonna have to work on penalties for him because he was main cause of like a lot of penalties last year. Just undisciplined on the field. And what I mean by that is he's just causing dumb, causing flags all the time. It's like, all right, well, we'll see. But he is one of those guys where I'm like, okay, in a Dynasty IDP league, I think he might be worth grabbing him.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of my favorite ones here. Him, Preston Smith, and Devondre Campbell are one of those guys that they're going to be productive. So, and as for Lucas Van Ness, he might slide in over Kenny Clark, but I don't think so.
I have him at outside linebacker for rushing.
Instead of Rashawn Gary or what?
No, I have him behind Preston Smith.
Okay, same here.
And I think Preston Smith will be the guy he overtakes.
Really? I like Preston Smith, though. I think
I like him too, but he's already hit 30. I think he was fairly inconsistent last year. I know he had a breakout year with the Packers like 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But I think last year he had injuries. And
it was injuries last year.
And wasn't as consistent. And I think if he gets hurt, Lucas Van Ness takes the reins and he doesn't look back.
Yeah. Maybe.
Especially
I think
with Rashawn Gary on the other side.
In the tank. Say what?
With Rashawn Gary on the other side too.
Yeah. I still think he still has something left in the tank. I think the injuries hindered him from doing a lot last year, so I think he was in and out freaking off the field just because of injury. I think he played like 3 or 4 games, got hurt, came back a few weeks later, and then played a good handful of games and then got hurt again, I think. So, yeah. We'll see. Overall, I think that what's going to hold them up is going to be this defense. They're going to have to step it up and do a lot because the offense, I don't have any confidence in this team of what they're going to do. So we'll see. But yeah, if you didn't know what the roster was, here it is. We usually just cover the starters and then go from there. As our next segment, we just kind of go as who you taking, who you gambling on, and who you not taking.
Yes, sir.
Is it my turn to start this time?
Yes, sir. I went first yesterday with the Lions. So who you take it? Don't sigh too hard there.
It's because I want to say it's a defensive player, but like my biggest argument here, and I think you're going to agree with me, is there's only one guy that you really want to take here, and that's Christian Watson.
Yeah, I'd have him up there.
And then just because he's good, he's going to be productive, he can get it done. It's just the problem is
and then based off of that one game, he already has a connection with Love.
Right. I just feel like he's the only valuable asset here. Besides, because all right, so I'll mention this. Like, Quay Walker is going to be my gamble because I know he could be good. I know he could be. He has to clean up the way he plays. So
oh shoot, we got Anthony coming up here with the segment. He says he's taking Aaron Jones and gambling with Jordan Love.
He might not start the whole season. So for that point of take, like for Dynasty though, because we usually do Dynasty picks.
Well, gambling on Jordan Love's not bad for Dynasty.
Gambling on Jordan Love's not bad. At the taking one, I'm not going to agree with you. Just because I don't know how much longer Aaron Jones is going to run for.
Yeah.
Like, what if it's his last year and the next year he just plummets, man? Like, we've seen running backs do this all the time.
He already took a step back last year, so.
Yeah. So I'm not taking Aaron Jones in Dynasty leagues. Not right away. Not like a hot pick. I will take Christian Watson 100%. But gambling, I'll take Quay Walker. And then the guy I'm just... Damn, dude. Like, the guy I'm not taking is Aaron Jones.
There you go.
I'm glad Anthony said that. I don't know if Anthony knew it was we do nothing but Dynasty picks, but this is, I mean, it's the whole part of the show. So we cover Dynasty. So, but for the season, I would agree with what you're saying here. If it's just one season only, then I would jump on what Anthony said. But for Dynasty, I'm gonna go complete opposite. So yeah, go ahead, Mark.
So for who I'm going to take, for me, it's going to be Rashawn Gary.
Okay.
He's only 25. I think he already is like the sack leader on that team, and I think he'll continue. And then with the help that he has on the other side with Smith and Lucas Van Ness, I think that just helps him. So that's why I feel like IDP, he's a linebacker you can get, and he has that linebacker defensive line, dual eligibility that I like a lot. So yeah, that's who my take is. My gamble is going to be Jordan Love. Anthony Price took it from me.
No, I mean, you guys can agree.
But he's a young quarterback. He's a starting quarterback, and I feel like even if he doesn't quite put it all together this year, like I said, within 2 years, 3 years, I think he could be really good. Now, if that's good enough to be a quarterback at Green Bay, I don't know, because of the staggering fact. But for the last 30 years, they've only had 2 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So this will be their 3rd quarterback in 30 years.
And they've done the same trend. Like they draft the guy and they just let him sit there for a handful of years.
Which I swear, if Jordan Love balls out, I feel like that's like something teams should start doing again.
That, and I'm gonna be a little upset.
Like if Green Bay just keeps getting these guys after they sit for 3 years and then they get in there and they just start balling out all the time, it should be a trend that other teams be like,
Yeah.
Because when I first started watching football in the 90s, early 90s, that's what happened.
No, that's how it was.
No rookie quarterbacks, unless you're the number 1 overall pick for the Bengals, you weren't playing right away.
Well, back then it was okay, you're the guy until he gets hurt, or until you get hurt, then we bring in the rookie. But if you're not hurt, then you're gonna play. So, no, I agree. So, Anthony says Martin should have said taking Watson and gamble on Love because you need a quarterback to get Watson the ball. No, well, here's the reason I'll take Watson in a dynasty league over him, because if on my dynasty league, if Christian Watson, if Jordan Love doesn't pan out, I know that the talent of Christian Watson is going to be there. And what if he gets traded for a valuable asset that the Packers do? Now, I know it's not big that what they do all the time, but what is going on here? There it is. I just think that in a dynasty league, I'm looking for the future. And if Christian Watson doesn't stay there, I know he's going to go somewhere else and still be valued in another spot. So, if I'm gambling on Jordan Love, what if he doesn't do good? Then now I'm burned a whole quarterback slot. Now I have to try and fight for a quarterback. And quarterback is not easy, especially if you're in a super flex league. We don't do super flex, but if you do super flex, you're basically kind of done, because you need 2 of them. So,
and then for who I'm not taking, I think I might piss Martin off here, but I'm not taking AJ Dillon.
No, I'm not mad. They're not using him.
This is going to be his 4th year, I think, and he's still the backup, and he's already reached his age 25 season. And from dynasty standpoint, he should be starting to trend downwards now. And the fact that he hasn't even become a starter yet, I think I'm going to try to stay away from AJ Dillon.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. He's just an RB2 now. The only reason he's good is if the starter's gone. I'm not mad about that, because I really love AJ Dillon. I do.
I know.
I like the guy. He's one of my favorite players.
And I didn't think 2 years ago I'd ever say that, but
no, neither did I. I really thought this guy was going to be the it factor once Aaron Jones, they were shopping him around. So, but no, when you think about dynasty leagues, you think about the future. I remember when AJ Dillon came in, and I looked at him like that guy's gonna be the next big thing. The dude was as big as Derrick Henry, and he is as big as he's like 250 pounds, and has a good amount of speed. It's like taking a bowling ball and throwing him like 15, 20 miles an hour running. Like it's gonna be hard to tackle that guy. And you can see it when he throws up the middle. Like usually he dodges. Like the first guy tackling doesn't usually get him down. Usually it takes about 2. That's AJ Dillon for you. So 3 years ago, I thought getting AJ Dillon would have been like great, but that's the thing. So that's kind of like what Anthony was saying. Like should have said Watson on the gamble, but I know that Watson is good. We've seen him be good. So that's why I'm like, yeah. But, I don't know. But, Anthony, thank you for your input. I like it.
No, I like it. It was cool that he jumped in and gave us his.
No, yeah. We actually don't usually get that from.
I know. As I said, it's the first person to like jump in on us with like a segment like that. So I was like, that's cool.
Yeah. But no, that's nice. I just. Because it makes me think about how I would answer or what and evaluate my answer. So, all right. So let's move on with the schedule. Now that we're talking about, how good they're going to do and what they're going to do. I couldn't get a freaking overlay to save my life. It just wasn't happening today. So I have this up. We just pull something out later. Do you have the schedule up?
Yep, I do. So they start the season against the Chicago Bears in Chicago. Then after that, they head to Atlanta to play the Falcons. Then they head back home to play the Saints. Then they stay home for Thursday Night Football against the Detroit Lions. And then they head to Vegas to play the Raiders. And then they have an early bye week at week 6.
Mm-hmm.
And then they head to Denver to play the Broncos. Then back home to play the Vikings. Stay home against the Rams. Head to Pittsburgh to play the Steelers. Then they head back home to play the Chargers. Then head to Detroit on Thanksgiving Day to play the opening game of Thanksgiving in Detroit. Then they head home to play the Kansas City Chiefs. Then they head to New York to play the Giants. Then back home to play the Buccaneers. Then to Carolina to play the Panthers. Then to Minnesota to play the Vikings. And then the very last game of the season is at home against the Chicago Bears.
Correct. So
looking for a snowball type of game in that one. Yeah,
that one should be fun. I hope it's going to be a fun game. I love outdoor. I really do. And people are like, "Oh, they should."
Put I do too.
No, don't put a roof on it.
Right?
How many stadiums don't have a roof anymore? There's like what? Well, only a handful of them that don't have a roof. So
probably like 50-50 if I guessed.
Yeah. And then some of them are retractable too, and then they just close it because of bad weather.
Oh yeah, there is that.
I don't know. I kind of say Arizona, open that shit up, let it pour, let the rain in. Who cares? I don't like that they're week 6 bye week. That is early as hell.
Sure is.
They are gonna be suffering on injuries. Week 13-ish, 14-ish, like. It's week in, week out from constant bodily bruising takes a toll. They're going to have a rough time. It would not surprise me if the Bears get that game at week 8 or week 18. So, but who do I think the record is? So, what's up, man? Peanut Butter says 7-10. Interesting. And the way Tampa Bay plays is practicing on the XFL team. Can beat what?
Yeah, I don't know if I go that far.
No.
I'm not going to be confident that Ben DiNucci can lead a team against the Buccaneers.
Well, Ben DiNucci signed with someone though.
He did, and then immediately got cursed out by his coach.
Oh, jeez.
It was the Broncos.
Yeah, the Broncos. Yeah.
Yeah, he was in practice, and he said, "If you keep doing that, you're going to be a greeter at Walmart."
Oh, I remember. Oh, yeah, it was him. Yeah. You're right. Jesus.
He was pulling no punches that day.
Poor guy. All right, so I'm gonna say they have. This is so hard because I don't know what they are yet.
Right.
It's such a young team, and the chemistry is not there yet. We don't know what they are. I don't see a win until almost week 9.
I have them beating the Saints.
I think Derek Carr can pull it off.
It's in Green Bay. That's the only reason. I know I say that a lot, but
yeah, you do.
I feel like the Green Bay fans will be a difference because there's one thing I can say about playing in Green Bay that is a true home field advantage. And to me, that advantage, even a crappy team still gets elevated a little bit, you know? And I don't think the Saints are good enough to where even if you once you elevate the Packers a little bit, it'll put them on the same level as the Saints, in my opinion. So that's why I just gave it.
Okay.
But I had 5 wins.
You have 5? Holy crap.
5.
I'm looking at 3 so far.
And I said that knowing what the over-under is on them because Braden's at the store with the family.
Okay.
All but he told me the over-under before he left.
Could be 4-13. I was going high. Yeah,
that's
a big difference, bro.
That's a big
7-4 is a big difference.
That's a big. I mean, I don't like their safeties, and even their corners are good, but they're not great.
3 games.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say they beat.
I got 5.
5, okay. They beat LA. They beat Tampa Bay.
That's 2
and they beat Carolina.
That's 3rd one of mine.
They split with the Vikings.
I have the Vikings beating them twice. No, I have them. No, yeah, the Vikings beating them twice. Only because that last meeting is in Minnesota. Had that last meeting been outdoors in Green Bay, I would have picked Green Bay, but it's not. Although it is a primetime game. You all know Kirk Cousins isn't good at primetime games.
I see 4 games, man.
So you got 4?
Maybe Pittsburgh. I don't know. No, I'll take that back. It's going to be 4. I see 4.
I have the Saints. I have Vegas, Rams, Tampa, and Carolina. No, Vegas went.
Okay, you said Tampa, right?
Well, I did say Tampa. But now I just realized I have Chicago beating them twice. And
that's what I have.
I have Chicago beating them twice. What? If I have them only winning 5 games, that last game to be more meaningful to Chicago, I'll have Chicago beating them twice. 5 wins. The over-under?
I'm going to give them – hold on. I might give them Vegas. I'm thinking of Vegas' roster. I'm like –
yeah, I gave them Vegas. Because even though it's in Vegas, I still think – especially if Jimmy doesn't play – I'm like, oh, yeah, Brian Hoyer. Good luck, guys.
Yeah, you know what? I'll go 5. Yeah, I'll go 5. Peanut Butter says Las Vegas is a win too. Yeah, okay. Yep. I'm gonna go 5. You've convinced me. I'll go
over
5.
Under 7.5. 7.5. I'm like, I don't know.
Is there a trend where we see all these crappy teams all have 7.5 and there's just the home games?
Could be.
I feel like all these teams we've had lower than 6 games were all 7.5.
No, I don't think the not so good ones were like right where we said. I think we said 4.5, and it was like 5 for the Texans.
Because even Cardinals was what, 6? Cardinals was 6.
No, I thought Cardinals maybe it was 6. I don't remember.
The over under on what they were saying, I thought it was at 6. I don't know, man, but
they also said the what was it? One of the teams had like a 5. They projected 5 wins, but they weren't favored to win a single one of them. And I'm like, how you protecting them at 5 wins, but they're not even favored to win a damn game?
That's true. I don't know. Yeah.
Like, I don't understand where you're coming up with this.
Neither do I.
So we both said 5.
5, yeah. And then over under 7.5. All right, okay. Let's go to our thing. All the teams we've been doing and all the shenanigans. This is what we have so far. Ah, crap! I don't have.
Yes, it was. That's why I said I don't know. Maybe they can't beat them because I don't have that last game was in Minnesota, but it was a Sunday night game.
I can't wait till we're done with this. Seeing our chart and then seeing what we have is going to be interesting.
No, I'm excited. I'm excited for the one episode we have where we just go over all this and project.
Yeah, when we go over this entire thing is going to be an interesting episode because because it'll be in our records for because we went live and we said it, and then
our review after the season to see how
how accurate we are, because we were pretty accurate last time, dude.
There were a bunch of teams where we were really good, but there were a few like Seattle where we dropped the ball. I think everybody, nobody in the preseason said Seattle was going to win 9 games and make the playoffs. Yeah. So
no one thought that shit.
Well, except for maybe some.
Who would have thought Seattle
fans were like, "I told you so."
Oh, because here's the thing. No, they didn't even know. They're lying out of their ass. Because you know why? Because at the beginning of the year, last year, they were saying that Drew Lock was going to be the guy at the helm, right?
Well, that's because Pete Carroll was saying Drew Lock was going to be the guy.
I understand that.
And then he got hurt.
Then it changed.
Yeah, he got hurt. And then Gino got in there, and they were like, Gino's going to be the man.
But hold on. But that's the reason why we gave him such a low outlook of what we thought they were going to do. Because they were going to go with Drew Lock. So, the under 7.5. I'm taking the under, too. I'm taking the under.
And then Anthony says, Martin showing us what he does every day for the fans.
Yeah. This isn't easy.
No, it's not.
Yeah. Brian is actually quite impressed on how fast I make these. Sometimes I'm like,
well, it's official, Lions. We have you winning the division because I don't think we're going to be anywhere near that for the Vikings.
No, I don't think so either, man. I still got it. So here's what I got to do. I got to take like pictures from the cities. Like all these are pictures from the cities, and I just throw them in the back, and then I create a different overlay. Like as we see here, all this, I'll put a giant like city here in left corner, top left, the top right, and in the bottom right, I'll put their cities. And then I match up their logos, and then I put in what it is. So these were kind of already pre-made, the top two. So I kind of roll with them, but these other ones I made. And then I thought I could use these for future episodes. Why not? So, but yeah. Here's where we're at. Right now we have the Lions taking the division. We haven't really done much on the AFC West. Not so much on NFC East either. NFC West, so far we have Seattle. And it might be pretty close between them and 49ers. But we'll get to that one. But I don't think anyone's going to take NFC East higher than 14, right? So we still got to do Tampa Bay.
I guarantee you, outside maybe once we take a deeper dive on the Chiefs, no one's going to even come close to 14.
Yeah. And we haven't even touched, AFC North or AFC
East.
And we We just haven't touched him.
Nope.
So we'll get there. I don't know what I'm getting at. So, anyways, guys, that's the Packers. 5 wins. You heard it here first. 5 wins. See what they do. Sorry, Packers fans. We love you. If we have 1 or 2 Packers fans that come into the show and during season, but look, every single one of you guys is like the 32 teams. Talk about all your teams, but right now we just don't feel confident in the Packers right now. So, just with the recent changes, isn't it crazy that the move of one guy decreases them to like 5 when they had like almost 8 or 9 wins last year because of Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah, but even if you put Aaron Rodgers on that team, I'd probably only say 7.
No,
I would.
With Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Let's look at the schedule. If Aaron Rodgers.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry. All right. Well, you brought it up. You brought it up. Maybe 7. No, I think you're right. That's not it. I will. Who cares? 7 or 8. Yeah, I don't know. But right now we're gonna look at 5. So, anyways, guys.
I've never seen a Packers fan in here. I don't know.
Yeah, we had either. One.
Oh, did we have one?
Mm-hmm. He had one. It's actually he has his own YouTube channel too. I follow him. I just don't get the notifications because I don't need the notifications on this specific account because it's all football. Like we use this for football. So, he changed his name recently. So, but he doesn't watch until like usually about season. So we have 1 Packers fan. And then 2 or 3 kind of float in every now and then. They don't come back, but it's all good. Look, either way, it doesn't matter. You guys are here every day. Anthony, you're here every day. It's Friday. Take care of yourselves. Take care of others around you. Just be safe. We'll see you Sunday. Mark, Tank, and Brian will be here, and they'll talk about whatever the hell they're going to talk about. Because Tank usually comes up with the segment like last freaking minute. Tank, what are we doing, man? Fuck's sake. 2 in a.m. Tank, we love you. All right. We'll see you Sunday morning. If not, if you miss us on Sunday, Monday, we are talking about the Steelers. That one's going to be interesting. We haven't really talked about the Steelers. So, yeah. Later, peanut butter. All right, Mark. Any last words?
No.
No? All right. Let's close it out. Packers, good luck. Hopefully win more than 5 games. I don't know. We'll see. Other than that, it's going to be a tough division. But take care, guys. Be safe in the weekend. We'll see you Sunday morning. Later, guys.
Later.
Getting hype when I aim up, elevating that game up, stepping up to the competition. Only first place, and that's how I'm living. I'm winning till they digging up my grave, eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate.